So I'm going to bring out my standby here. This is a 28 volt center tap transformer, and it's rated at I believe 3 amps. So to find that connector I need, I went back to my wire box, and yeah, don't have one. So I thought, well, let me go look at something here. So I went over to my homemade control unit, and that's what I did to connect the the stator to the charger. So I guess I'm going to have to do the same thing. I don't know if I can order them connectors or not, but that should work. So basically I need this plastic piece for the end, but I don't want to tear this up. So for now, we're just going to do what I did out there, and we're just going to heat shrink a pin on. All right, let me explain where we're going with this. So I'm working on the charging circuit now, and I want to verify everything before I actually wire it in. So on the ignition switch, on the on position, B and L is connected. That means battery and load. We're just doing a single diode, and then we're going to use this transformer setup to make it I'm having trouble talking, guys. We're going to use a single diode, and we're going to use the 28 volt transformer to substitute for the engine alternator. The engine makes 22 volts AC. 28, yeah, this voltage is going to vary as the speed of the engine. It says 3600, 5 amps DC. So yeah, so basically it's a 10 amp alternator, but 5 amps is used for charging and to run the lights, which should be fine. So as you can see, I've got a white wire connected here, and we got the black wire connected here. And if you look over to behind my hand, you'll see we're at 32 volts AC. I do have the meter set on AC. That is correct. It should be 28, but it's unloaded. So we got 32 volts, and the engine coil is 22. So we're 10 volts high. The black wire goes to the negative of the battery. The white wire is going to a 6 amp diode. From the 6 amp diode, we go into the amp gauge. We come out of the amp gauge, we go into an 8 amp circuit breaker. From the 8 amp circuit breaker, we go to the key switch, which is currently off. And we're going on to the L terminal. And then from the B terminal, we're going up to the battery. We're at 12.6 volts. And let me bring the amp meter over here, see if I can do this with one hand. Nope. Okay, so when I turn the key switch on, watch the amp meter and the voltage. So now we're charging the battery. I got a charge showing on the meter. Key off, key on. So yeah, so I've correctly identified the terminals that we're going to use for the charging circuit. I've already got the ground and the kill wire hooked up. The only other thing I got to do now, is that's working just fine, is the start wire. So for now, I put 2 bolts in the engine to hold it down. I did use the bolt that I've got the ground wire on, so we're using a multimeter again, and I want to check the engine ground, which looks like we got a good ground on the engine now. I ordered boots for here and for the battery, but for now I've just got the starter cable hooked up. So the battery negative is going to be here. This terminal here will go to the starter, to the positive terminal of the battery. Well, we're getting there. I got everything hooked up to the key switch plug, and instead of a 20 amp, we're going to run a 5 amp just for testing purposes, just in case. So this guy here plugs into the extra terminal on the key switch for the power to the lights. This is the charging wire. So this end of the charging wire plugs into the stator, and this end has the diode in line, and it'll plug into that connector right there. Let me do that. So that's how we're going to get charge current. The only thing I've got left to do, this bright light, is over here, and that's finish up the battery cable. So we got this wire is crimped in along with the connector, and it connects to the other side of the amp gauge, so they get tucked away. So all I need to do now is put an end on this cable for the battery, and then we can do some testing. But I spent way too long on this side of the project, so I'm going to do that in the morning. I want to call this video here. Thanks for watching.